Hey bitch, what's good? Nikki D here with another Get Ready With Me. Today we are taking a picture for our new NIE card. So living in Spain, it's basically my ID. And mine was lost like the day after my wedding, left my wallet in a taxi while we had X amount of shit sitting on the curb waiting to be picked up. So we need to take another photo, which is great. It's another opportunity to look fly. So let's get into it. So here I'm basically starting to perfect the skin. And in this case, I wanted to basically get rid of anything really, really dark. So I have like a little melasma, a couple little dark spots. So when I went in with foundation, I really didn't need too much. I'm just perfecting what I have first. So I lay down the concealer in those places, and then I take a really dense, short brush and tap it in. And that makes sure that it just stays right where it is. I don't spread it around, and that it's really concentrated on that area. And I'm making sure to grab all the really dark spots on the face, like in between the eyes, around the nose. I'm giving a little bit extra love here because I am quite like purple. You can see my veins through there. So I want all this super, super bright. Because one thing you really have to focus on when getting these pictures taken is there's going to be a ton of flash and you could look really flat and blown out. So here this look is really going to focus on chiseling the face, bronzing the face, contouring, a little extra blush than you think you need. You'll see when we get to it. Because that flash is going to kill everything on your face. So here I have my skin. It's nice and ready to go. I'm going in with the Makeup Forever stick. Y365 is my go-to. And I'm going to do like a little extra than normal. So I'm placing this right in the center of the face. And then I decided to take the same product and basically go in the areas that I contour and just lay down a little bit of a darker shade. So here I am grabbing that. And I'm going to put this on the high points of the cheek. So instead of in the divot, right above it. So that gives me basically a very nice natural skin tone, but it's just darker in those areas. So it's really going to help give the face some dimension. So I really like that. Now we're going to grab a Sephora brush. I really like this one because it's kind of dense, kind of fluffy, and I always give it a spritz before I start buffing out. So you can see I go from the middle to the outside and in a tapping motion, so kind of tap and sweep. And on the other side, I give it another good spritz and just lay it down. So this is my kind of first layer of getting a nice, even, bouncy looking skin, and then we're going to build on top of this. So that would be, your highlighted points, your contoured points. And already I've kind of built up that dimension. You can see there, it looks nice and deep in the areas of the face that have some shadow. So I'll be going in with another product that's kind of gray base, and I feel like those create the really nice natural shadows, and they definitely turned out great in the photo. You'll see that on the thumbnail and also at the end. Unfortunately, this video cut out a little bit early before I put lashes on, but I think that's the only thing we're missing here. So here's me. I'm just taking off any extra product, so I keep bouncing. The brush is going to pick up anything that's wet that is not buffed into the skin. And now I have the minimal product that I need. And then here I'm going in with my contour. And this is by SheGlam. And I believe it's called, actually I'll put it in the comments below. And here you can see it's a really gray, like light tone shade. Almost like too light for me at the moment. But I believe I go in with another color right after this. And this is going to give me that snatch. So just making sure any hairs are out of the way. You're going to be making some hair prints on your face. And I'm taking that same foundation brush. It still has a little foundation in it. That's great. It's going to help us blend out. So you can see I'm just tapping right on top of that line. And I'm bringing it upward. Do not go downward. So you just want to tap on the line, bring it up when you're at the cheekbone. And with the jaw, I really like that to be nice and snatched, nice and angled, and so I line that right up with my natural jaw, and it just kind of brings back that dimension that you lose sometimes from putting foundation on your face. So you can see you're already creating some shadow, and that the camera's going to pick that up really nicely. Let's see what we're going in with next. Okay, so this is the Makeup by Mario stick. Contour stick, and I'm taking this right to the brush and patting it on the hand, super important so you can really control this. And this is me getting that last, like, extra dimension in the skin, so really like contoured cheeks. This is a little extra for me, but you'll notice in the picture it really gave me a ton of flash, and my contour definitely stood out. I look nice and warm and toasty. So ended up being a good picture. So I'm taking this around the jaw, and this I would say is a little bit of a warmer tone, so it's almost kind of like your bronzer at this point. So you can see the grayish color was more like the contour, and then this one's a little bit warmer, gives you some warmth like the sun, and so this is going to give us a little bit of bronzy glow. And you can see I'm just taking that down a little bit lower, just really contouring, really snatch. And that created a gorgeous color. So you can see you really only need minimal products, but the right products in the right areas. And that way you are not, again, Miss Mary makeup face, I like to say. You just need tiny, tiny bits, layered to perfection. So never going in with too much to start with, just a little bit at a time. You can always add. So now I'm starting to feel happy with this. I brought it down, I don't know if you noticed, but like, I like the vascular part of the neck, I would say, and that really gives you like a nice contoured neck, because I wasn't sure how much was going to show. So now I'm just taking contour on a nice fluffy brush, and I am kind of chiseling out my eyes to nose, starting to create those initial shadows. The number one thing I love to change about my face is kind of like sharpening the nose and making like the tip like super, a little bit like higher. And so that definitely translated in this picture. I was so happy. I'll show you the picture at the end here. But now I'm taking this and I'm kind of dragging it upward, and that's also going to drag your face upward too. So follow along above your crease, and then just drag it up, almost like kind of towards your temple. You can basically follow the natural line underneath your eye in that direction. And you can see it kind of just gives you like a nice lift there and kind of open look, but nice and dissolved, so we can't see what's actually happening. And then I like to take whatever's left and kind of just smudge it under the eyes. It just creates a nice uniform look and starts to give the eyes a little bit of smoke, so when I do some shadow under there, it blends out super sweet. Alright, so it looks like we're happy with that base. Now I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty cream blush in, I believe, Bikini Martini. And let's see if I pick up that same brush, because it would be good for this. No, okay. So I decided to pick it up out of the compact and smudge it onto a Petri dish. The reason I like to do that is really just to like warm it up and see how much I'm working with, because I have so little left. So if you have a compact that has product around the edges, if it's a cream one, I would always recommend taking it out, because it's really hard to get a brush around those edges, and you never know how much you're picking up or like where on the brush it is. So it's really hard to control that. So now I'm taking a duo brush, I'm trying to call this, basically synthetic and natural hair, and I really like these for cream products. So I pick it up on the top where the synthetic part is, lay it down, and then the brush on the bottom helps to buff it in. So I like this. I just really wanted to go for like a full face, instead of like, I like the contour, but like a nice full, healthy, youthful, pinky looking cheek, so that it just look as young as possible. But I really wanted to give it some dimension, but also give it some youth. Voila. So all of our cream products are down. I'm going to take some transparent powder, and I'm going to go to town. This part I would say is probably the most important part, is to set that face and then distribute the highlight where you want it to be in the photo, because this is going to be harsh flash, so you really got to matte this down. It doesn't have to be like dry matte, but you can see the glow still kind of comes through from my products, but it's really toned down. So now I can really create the highlight that I want in the areas that I want, so that it will sculpt the face. So really just get in there, lay down your transparent powder. This is going to give you a nice poreless look. It's going to save your makeup. It's going to let it last. And all the cream product and all the work you did to create your shadows are going to last, and they're going to translate. So now I'm taking a little bit more, going in the T-zone there, and you can see I tap, 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 and then I roll it out, and I pull it down the neck as well. So anywhere that I have a little bit of product, we're going to set it, and we're going to make that poreless as possible. And then I quickly just roll it over the face, and there you go. So let's see, give it a little checky. Looking good. And let's see what we go in with next. There you go, girl. So this is the Skin Finish Natural by MAC. It's a face powder. I really advocate for, if you find a powder that you like for your face and it really is like nice and airbrushing, I would definitely recommend getting a powder that's either lighter or darker or even both, so that you can highlight and contour with it. It is phenomenal. It is basically there but not there, you know. It creates those shadows, it gives you that warmth, but you don't look manufactured, you know. So sometimes with bronzers, they may appear a little orange or just a little bit just unnatural, you know, because usually lines only come out with just a few shades. But with face powders, they really are made for the skin, and so it's easy to go very gradually and get a shade for just a shade above your skin, and that's really what I'm going here with. You can see I almost created like a new tip of the nose, so I kind of roll that down the nose, create like a little circle, and that makes the tip look a little higher. And then I'm just putting it under where my natural shadows are, so under the nose, under the chin, under the lips, just give a little bit of bump. And then I'm taking a little bit of this Sculpt powder by Makeup Forever, and I'm really going in. This is like the equivalent of the Makeup by Mario stick I had just used. So this is really like the deepest shadow color we're going to get, and I'm throwing that into like where the depth of my cheekbone would be, and this is where I really want to translate on the photo, so it looks nice and like thin, sculpted, youthful, if you will. My whole look here was basically to just give a nice contour, give nice shape to the face, but also have like nice full healthy looking cheeks like that were very pink. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. Now I'm just taking a little bit of that powder and I'm reinforcing all those shadows. So around the eye on the outer part, just to make it look a little more open and fresh. And you can see it, you just go right above your crease on the outside of the eye and do little circles just to get down to the bottom. And then I like to run that underneath the eye, so when you do put shadow there, it's nice and warmed up. You're not just putting shadow and it just stops and it's nothing. Here comes Alex in his underpants. He just realized that I was taping. Thanks, Al. Love you. You can talk. And okay, now I'm fully distracted. Go ahead. You can come back. Don't be scared. I think he was telling me about like an appointment he made for me. I can't make my own appointments in Spain because like I got the basics, but they may come in with some questions I'm not prepared for in Spanish, and yeah, it's just easier for him to do it for me. Thanks, Al. So I'm taking a little transparent powder here, and this is where the fun begins, at least for me. So when I take this, I will snatch the nose, and you can see I cut off the tip just a bit, and that basically makes the nose look a little bit shorter, just a bit. I'm going to make that a little bit, there you go. And then I take it and I put a dot right where I want the tippy tip of the nose to be. In my case, it would be just a few millimeters above my actual one, just like that. And then I do like the bridge, so almost like an exclamation point. If you have like a more angular nose like I do, you can see I don't go all the way up from like the forehead to the nose. The reason is you really want that to be more sunken so that it just looks like it pops out real nice. You don't want all of that highlighted all the way up to your forehead, because that's going to make your nose look more angular and like a right angle basically. So you can see I've laid down the angle for my upper cheekbones and eyes. This is also going to be like a guide to where to put the eyeliner, which is really convenient, because even if you are like a master artist, you still have different features. You know, your left eye and right eye are not equal, for most of us anyway. So having that guide there is really good to be confident that you're going in the right direction. And already I'm loving this. Like I can see this is going to photograph so well. So I take whatever's left on the powder puff, I run it through my brows, and that really helps whatever products you're using to stick in there well if you've done some cream products, because sometimes it does look a little bit, it gets hard to lay down powder products. So this is Espresso eyeshadow from MAC. It's kind of like my go-to for like natural hair color. I like to, if I want to make like a no makeup look, I'll put that like through my eyelashes, and it just makes them look a little bit thicker and a little bit fuller. And here I'm just drawing in some hairs in the direction that they actually grow, keeping it natural but really giving it nice fullness. If you did skip this on like a full beat, it would kind of look bare there. So we're just filling in some little gaps, giving nice fullness to the brow. And yeah, it really just angles the face, you know. This is my shitty brow, so she needs a little bit more love, and that's okay. To making sure that you can really compare where your highest angle is on your brow. For me, it's like right after my iris, so I can make sure that it's the same on this end. And they're sisters, not twins, don't worry. And yeah, just giving a little more expression to these babies. So now I'm just drawing up some little hairies, and that's it. That's basically all I really need. You can go in with a pencil. You can go in with brow gel. It really all depends on what kind of brows you're working with and what your end goal is. You know, if you're keeping it natural, I really haven't gotten into soap brows, but I'm kind of curious. I just have such thick eyebrow hair that I just have a feeling it wouldn't work on me. So, I don't know. I'll have to give it a try. It's a really good summer product to have for sure. So, let's see what we do now. We are going for... Oh, I think I know. Yeah, we're going to sculpt out these brows. So just for photographic purposes, I just look really nice and neat and clean. I don't think I have been waxed or threaded since my wedding, which was 2 months ago. So I come in with the tweezer almost every other day, but still, you just want this area to be super bright, super chiseled, really nicely shaped. So it's going to clean up any mistakes if you did make them, or if they're just a little bit wonky. But I like it. It's another kind of lifting type of technique. And you can see it's not super, super bright. I kind of like it just like a shade under my skin. And here it really helps you to lift the brow. But one thing I really do like about this is see how it just created that shape on the eyelid? That is really like where your eyeshadow should go to create like a lift. So it's kind of like a cheat sheet as well. Get all this shit to work for you, girl, you know? Dang. And there we go. So I just made a nice little brightened area for this brow. And I like to kind of connect them. And it really just makes it nice and bright and blown out in that area. Here's good. And bringing it slightly up and back down. And I just love that shape that it creates on the eye. It's such a guide for where a lifting shadow should be. So I really like that. And I really use that to my advantage. So now I'm just taking whatever's left on the brush and going on top. We're going to buff all this away, don't worry, but it's really going to give that nice lifted, brightened look. And you can tell that's the theme of this makeup. So I'm going in with my concealer brush at this point, and I'm just going to dust this away. I'm going to kind of tap and blend so that I can still see that shape, but just take out those lines. Boom, yes. And look how nice and crispy that looks. Nice and crispy. Amazing. So just take that away. And there you have it. So there's your brows. Nice and full, nice and clean. Not really manufactured looking, and really bright. So, next. Now we're taking an eyeshadow brush. And sculpting powder. I think we're going to go in with the eyes now. So you can see I'm letting this bake on my nose, my cheeks, and really as long as I can, and do other things while I witness it disappear. So now I'm just kind of tracing over that shape because I really like it. And this is really just going to create more of the illusion of the lift. And again, I'm using the Sculpt powder, which is like a gray hue. They have a million colors, so I would say go check that out. It's really, really good products, as well as their lip liners. Oh my God, legendary. So now I'm taking that through the crease, and I'm just kind of buffing that into the nose, and I'm reinforcing those lines down my nose and on the tip. So really everything is really chiseled out. So when that really beam of light flashes, all these features are still there, still snatched, still, bronzy, and not blown out and just look like a big white face. So that's not cute. So it's kind of being thorough with that. Now we're going underneath and just dusting upward. And there we go. So we have a nice open, buffed out look on the eye. And now, okay, now we're taking the Morphe palette. I think it's called T9. I'm taking a gray and a really dark brown, and I'm just finishing that off on the edge. And this really gives you like a little bit of a smoky eye, just like a little baby one, an infant one. But what I like about this is it really helps make my eye look larger, because you can see I'm dragging my crease over like an extra inch, so it makes the eye appear as if it's like an inch bigger outward, which I like. And that's going to help reinforce everything that I do with eyeliner. So now I'm going to go in with Vanilla by MAC, which I didn't even know I had. It was unopened. So I'm taking this and a nice kind of fluffy brush. This is the 224 by MAC, and I'm just buffing this on the inside of my eye. For me in particular, when you have shadow in there, you really want to make this nice and bright, and so I'm just kind of dusting that in. I didn't want it too severe, you know. I just wanted that light in there, and you can see like beam, amazing, like that is the shade. There are just some cult classics by MAC that you literally, I mean, you could find dupes, but there's really nothing like them. And I feel like Vanilla is definitely one of those shades. I definitely have to do a video about that. So let's see what you can see, by the way, that the bake is baking, and it almost disappeared. So I'm letting that sit for a little bit longer. And in the meantime, giving the lashes a curl. I wasn't sure if I was going to do extensions on this one or like individuals, but yeah. I decided to go in with first a brown kohl liner. And this is basically just to get it going, get my eye shape going. I like it because there's really no gaps in between the eyelashes, and it can really take, you know, a brush to it and smudge out into a shape that you're really looking for. So for me, I decided to take this domed kind of flat brush, and I'm just kind of buffing this across the lash line. And that way it's almost like making like a little home for when I decide to put the darker liner there. So I'm starting to pull this out and just kind of dusting it away at the edges. So really no harsh lines, just really defining the eye shape and lifting just a bit at the outside. So start dragging that out and buffing it upward. And you can see there's the eyes. Boom. Like that's gorgeous. Like you can just leave it like that. It's a good work area. Work look. And this is really cool too. I just take whatever's left on the brush and dust it in between the hairs, pretty much from like the middle of my eye to the outward side. And that really just makes the lash line look a little bit thicker, but it starts to warm up for other products, like I said, when we do mascara or shadow. So I think I've decided at this point to do half lashes. I think I'm changing music at this moment, but I'm going to first do a bed of mascara. I really love this mascara. I cannot find it anywhere to replace it, but it's the only one that holds my lashes upward. So it's called Million Lashes, I think, by L'Oreal. And so I'm laying down a nice base of this, and this is what my fake lashes are going to sit on. I'm adding a little bit extra love on the inside because I pulled off a lash the other day a little bit too aggressively and kind of yanked one of my inner lashes off. So I got to grow that baby back. So one way to do that, by the way, is vitamin E capsules. You can just poke a little hole and lay some on your eyelashes. Really helps them grow, keeps them super healthy. Okay. There you go. So now I have a nice base for my mascara, and let's see where we go from there. So here's kind of deciding where are we going with this. What are we doing? Okay, now we're going to get rid of the bake. So first thing, I take a dense brush, and I'm tapping in the area that I really want to keep blown out. So really push that in first. And I'm only tapping on the areas that I really want to be the highest points. So it's under the eyes, tip of the nose, the forehead, the chin. And you can see that's become my face. So now really in all the areas that I laid that transparent powder, it really has come forward, which makes everything else look like it recedes. So it really gives you a nice structured look. Now I'm taking whatever's left on the brush and kind of just wiggling it all over the skin. It's just giving me an extra kind of poreless finish, and also staying power. Next, more bronzer. So this is actually a warm bronzer. This is pretty similar to the MAC Skin Finish Natural. I just feel like sometimes when I dust off my transparent powder, actually most times, the bronzer kind of disappears under that powder a little bit. So here's me just adding like just a touch of warmth back in, so you can see everything's nice and married together. And I'm taking that on a fluffy brush, so nothing really chiseling, just to kind of warm up the outsides, the mid of the face, the jaw, into that transparent powder that I just dissolved, basically. Okay. And that's by Haus Labs. Let's see where we go next. Alright, so I think now I decided to go in with the blush. This is Sprinkles by MAC. It's a limited edition, but I would say something really similar to it would be Dame by MAC. Super good. And I'm taking this on a 224 MAC brush. And this is super, super important where you're laying down your blush. So depending where you lay it, will really give your face a different shape. What I decided to do, like I said, I wanted to look kind of full face but chiseled. I wanted to look youthful and kind of full. So I decided to do kind of like the upper cheekbone, and then I kind of grabbed some of the apple with that as well, so that kind of the meat of the cheek looks like it's in the center, not like super lifted to the gods like an alien or something on just the tippy tips, because the look I wanted to go, like I said, is a little bit fuller. And I will do a video on where to place your blush depending on your face shape, depending on what your goals are. If you want to look snatched, if you want to make your face look skinnier, if you want to make your face look fuller, if you're a little bit older, I got you. So I am going in with this blush, and I'm so glad I did, because even in the photo it seems like it wasn't this bright. So this is a little bit extra, like I said, just like the wedding makeup, you got to do a little bit extra when you know those flashes are flashing. So I'm taking now the transparent powder by KVD, and let's see what I do with this. Oh yeah, I think I was chilling this out. So if ever that it's a little bit too much, you can take a little bit of transparent powder and just go along the perimeters of the blush, and it helps kind of like introduce it to the face. You can see it's a really nice blend there now, but it has a nice pop of pink. So she's liking it, And now I'm going to go in with my MAC Pro. This is a highlighting powder. It has like a pink hue, and this really, like, I swear this made the picture. It doesn't have like obvious sparkle, but it's definitely made to reflect light. I still need to find a dupe for this if you are not a MAC Pro member. But I'm tapping this kind of to blow out the inside of the face. So I really love that like bright white, not white, but bright glowy inside of the face. Nice bronzy outside. Kim K all day, if you will. And now I'm just taking that same powder and reinforcing the nose. So the tip, I will call it the explanation point. And there you go. So there is the highlighting situation. Now we're going in with an actual highlighter. This is by Makeup Forever, and this is where it gets kind of fun. So I'm taking a little dense fluffy brush, right, laid it down in the highlighter, and I'm going to spritz it, and basically this is going to make it basically create a cream. So I really wanted this to pang in the pictures, so I'm really being very strategic where I place this. So we want to look lifted, but we want to look full. So I really just went very sparingly, and that is when my camera decided to have no more storage left. So deleted a few apps, and here we are again. So finishing off the eyes, we have the espresso shade again on an angled brush. And remember, we had that line from the transparent powder, so I can still vaguely see that on the outside. That's totally fine. So I started with one line there. And then right from the center of that line, I brought it back in to the lash line. Now I'm just kind of shading the lash line basically right on top of where I did that pencil earlier. And that's really just setting it, making sure it won't smudge. And then I'm just taking the outside and with the lightest hand, just pulling out like a tiny, tiny hair-like strand. Awesome. There we go. So now we have a nice full lash line. We got a tiny flit going on. And now we're going to do it again. So we're following that natural line. We're drawing out your initial line. And now we're going to take it across the lash, fill it on in. Remember, the closer to the nose, the inside of the eye, you really want to make that super, super thin, almost like not even there. And when you get toward the middle of the eye, that's when you thicken it up. And you want to meet that initial line you did right at the middle of it. And so that's why you don't have a nice big thick angle going on at the end, which is not cute. If you like that, but I don't. There we go. So now we have nice tapered edges, and this is going to be a nice home for our lashes to sit on. And my dog wanted to leave me. That's okay. We can live without you, Scooter. All right. So there we have it. So liner is done. I wanted just something a little bit dramatic, definitely Coley, but not so black. And unfortunately, guys, if you're still with me here in the darkness, it's because my phone was completely full. So I have a ton of videos that I haven't uploaded yet, and my phone cannot handle it. And I've bought more storage. So what does that tell you? Got some good stuff coming your way. So at this point, I just took some half lashes. I used Duo Adhesive glue. It is the best glue. Make sure you get the white and blue one because it's quick set. So you can pop it on, give it a good blow for like, I don't know, 30 seconds max, and that will be totally sticky. It'll just lay down on your first try. So after that, I gave the face a good Fix Plus spray, and that is it, just dried off. So take a look at the final picture. It came out absolutely incredible. I'm super happy with it. Now when I open my wallet and take my ID out, I'm not totally embarrassed, but loving it. So, hey, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And if there's anything you guys would love to say, I would love to hear about it. So please put it down, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Love you.